You create variables to refer to the memory in which you store your data types such as integers, floats, double, strings. And we want to print that out, so you use print statements, and depending on the language you're using, it could be print, println, system dot out dot println, or console if you are using JavaScript. And that's how you see your output. Then there are conditions. So conditions are basically if you want to look for something, or if you want to say something is greater than the other thing in comparison, if you want to create a comparison, you want to look for a few things like if they're equal or not. So use if conditions, and if they're true, then the code inside this if blocks run, and if not, then you have to create an else statement as well. So if this is not working, then else, or it will completely skip the code that you've written if condition. Depend upon what you want this for. You can have a you can use different if conditions. Mostly if you're a beginner, you will use if condition if you want to look if the number you're dividing by is 0 or not, because if it's 0, then you cannot divide number by 0 because it will give you an error. So most probably if you're a beginner, you will use if condition for those only. As you grow up, you will use them to see for different things. Look for comparison for sorting if you are going through data structure and algorithms. And that's how you do in JavaScript, C++, Kotlin, and other. Here you can see like I have written an if condition. If it's bigger than this, then print the if condition. If it's not, then else condition. There are also other ways like elif. Then there are loops. Loops are usually a way to iterate or repeat a certain code again and again and again. So you have while, for, and do while. You use for statement. In for you have an initialization, then you have a condition, and then an increment and decrement depending upon what you are doing with the loop. So, and in while loop you only have a condition, so you have to specify how you're gonna break out of that condition, or how you're gonna break the loop, because if you're not, then you're gonna stuck in some kind of an infinite loop, or yeah, you're basically stuck. And then you have to, if you're using a turbo C, then you have to close your application, so don't use turbo C. Then let's see, so you can see on here a for loop in which I have written a post increment statement, which is basically I plus plus basically means incrementing it by 1. And also there's an error here in for loop. Also you can see the scores in Kotlin, JavaScript, Java, C++, Python on your screen at the time. And also there's a do while loop in which you first run the code and then you check for while loop. So basically you are going to run the code at least once, even if the condition is not true. And then there are functions. So why you create functions? Functions are a good way to encapsulate certain statements that you want to run whenever required. Like if you have a function that will add two numbers, although that seems weird, but let's suppose that function add two numbers and you want to call again and again and again. So you don't want to write a plus b all the time, so you create a function, you add a plus b, and you can call it again and again, but just by passing the arguments in which you specify the numbers such as a equal to 5 and b is equal to 7. This will return the sum and you print that out. So that's why function is a good practice, a way to encapsulate certain statements. Then there comes classes. Classes are a good way because they act as a blueprint for objects. Objects are instances in which for every class you can create as many objects as you want. It doesn't there's no constraint on that, and each object is a separate entity at the time, and all can have different variable values. Like if you specify variables like cell.x in Python, or this refer to the particular object, then they have separate values. If you put them like static in C++, then each object will share that particular variable, so be aware of that. And that's what classes are usually for, because they have separate entities and each object will have access to all those functions in the classes, and you can use them just by naming the object. And with dot operator you can just call the function with the name like you do in prior to what you have learned in functions. So you can see in Kotlin, in C++, in Java. So you can see the trend here. Every language has all the same code, same syntax, not syntaxes, the same way of representing the code. just differences in the wording or in syntax. Everything else is just same. That's why I'm showing you all the code. Also, classes are constructors in which you pass the values in the time you create the object. So constructor are a good way to initialize those variables which you want to have for specific objects, and that's a good way because each object will then have those specific different initialization depending upon what values you pass when you create those objects. So as for the final project, I'll want you to use whatever you have learned in this video to create a smart replying Twitter bot, which will respond to some basic questions like how you're doing, or they will respond to customers and the way that you trained it. So you have to use some Python in it, and then you want to create an application from that. So you'll be using Java there, and that's what I want to do, and I want to do that in 3 days. So